Hello, welcome to the Luminate Online Responsive Design Kit Screencast. My name is Sam, and I helped put together this kit. And the goal of the screencast today is to help you step through the guide and learn how to implement the kit yourself on your own instance of Luminate Online. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the webcam so you won't be distracted by my nervous tics. At this point, you should have downloaded the Responsive Design Kit to your computer. If not, please go to the following URL, as you can see right here, and you will want to go under Mobile Responsive Design, and it's right here, Responsive Design Kit. So go ahead and click on that. Now download it to your computer, and I'll show you what it looks like after you unzip it. It should look something like this. You'll see it has an images folder, a screenshots folder, a guide or document, as well as a CSS style sheet and an HTML page as well. So the first thing you want to do is you want to open up the guide. So open up the guide, you'll see something like this, and it has a little introduction of what is responsive design, as well as setup instructions. So the first thing we want to do is prepare your images to use for this wrapper. And basically, in the kit itself, in the images folder, there are two sample images that are used: logo dash sample and graphic banner. And if you look at them, the resolution of them, dimensions of logo sample is 245 by 90 pixels. Graphic banner is 282 by 95 pixels. So the kit has been designed to use these size images. Of course, you want to replace these with your own. The logo for sure. The graphic banner, if you want to use it, you don't have to. But basically, when you replace this image with your own, make sure you replace it with an image that's the same size as this one, or the same dimensions. That way, when you resize the page wrapper in your browser, it will be the same. Otherwise, if you do replace it with a different size image, you will need to adjust the style sheet accordingly. So, let's go back to the guide here. The first step is, of course, to upload the images to your instance of Luminate Online. So after you log into your instance of Luminate Online, of course, you'll be presented with the typical admin screen. And to upload images, go to Image Library. And as you'll see here, you can upload images here. I've already uploaded the images, but just to show you how it's done, you click Upload Image. You'll navigate to the folder where your images is contained. And in here, you'll see that I have some images here already. Let me go to the right folder here. Images. You'll pick your image here, and you'll choose to upload it. And then, of course, you'll name it whatever you want. Since I've already done this, the images should be here already. So I search for logo dash sample. There's my logo image. I uploaded already. Once you do this, your image should be uploaded. And you can move on to the next step, which is to create the reusable page builder page. So in the guide, under the next section, you'll see it says create a page builder reusable that will contain the styles required for the responsive page wrapper. So again, make sure you're logged into your Luminate site, and then the next step will be to create a new page builder page. So let me show you how that's done in case you're not familiar with it. It's quite simple actually. Go to Content, Page Builder, and then you'll click on Create a Single Component Page. And of course here you'll name it, and according to the guide, we want to name it in a certain way so you remember what it is. You'll call it Reuse Styles Responsive. So you can, of course, you can copy and paste the title. Go back here, enter it, give a description if you want, and make sure you choose on page under 7 page properties. This is a reusable page. You'll click next, continue, and basically then you will go back to the last step and you'll approve and publish. Now I've already created this page, but I'll show you just kind of what it looks like, how that goes. Click next, and then I'll give the version name. This you can leave it all blank, it's not necessary. Next again, and then in this section, make sure your WYSIWYG is turned off, and click this component section and click HTML content. You're presented with a new window that has the option to enter into the content here, the component, and this is where you turn the WYSIWYG off or on. In this case, you want to use the plain text editor. If you leave the WYSIWYG on, there is a possibility that it will cause this to not work correctly. So make sure you turn the WYSIWYG off. Then what you do is you go to the downloaded area of the kit, and you'll open up styles_responsive.css in your favorite text editor. In my case, I use Notepad++, which is a free text editor software. You can also use Notepad+, that comes with Windows, or whatever you want to use, Remover. In this case, I'll use Notepad++. And I'm opening it up here, and you'll see it looks like this. And Notepad++ is nice because it color codes your CSS depending on what kind of file you have here. In this case, it's color coded for CSS. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Control A, or you can just use your mouse and copy it all. But Control A also works fast. Control A to copy, and Control V. Is that wrong here? Control A to select all. Control C to copy. And then I'm going to go into the HTML component page of my reusable page and paste it in there. So you'll see it looks like this. It's a little bit bigger here. It's all here. The first style opening, and it ends a style. I'm going to click Save. There you go, it's saved successfully according to up here. Now I'll go ahead and close that up, so it should be there now. Go back to my Luminate Online instance and click Finish. And I'm going to go ahead and publish it. And then, of course, it'll give me a little description that my page has been published. And if you search for it, styles, you'll see, here's the one I just created, version _2, but of course, this is the one I created earlier. And there it is. It's active, it's reusable. Okay, so once you've done that, you're ready to create the page wrapper. So from here, we'll take a little pause, and we'll open up the section of the guide that has the page wrapper section. So here we move on to the next section. I'm creating a new page wrapper. And again, this section is pretty straightforward. Make sure you're logged into Luminate Online, and then navigate to Setup, and then Page Wrapper Editor. If you don't see this as an option, then that probably means you don't have the right privileges to actually edit page wrappers. This means you have to contact support, or the person in your organization who has the right permissions needs to go through this step. The first thing you want to do is you want to go to your instance of Luminate Online again, and scroll up and find Setup. Let me open this a little bit bigger here. And then go down to Page Wrapper Editor. Again, depending on your permission settings, what you have, you might not be able to see all these options. But you want to be able to do this, you have to have Page Wrapper Editor access. So click on Page Wrapper Editor, and you'll see Create New Page Wrapper. Go ahead and click on that button. And here it takes you to setting up a new page wrapper. So very simply, name it what you like. I believe in the guide, it just has an example of responsive wrapper. I'll call it responsive wrapper 2, since I already have one in there called responsive wrapper. Click next, and these are the parts where you have to edit it to make sure it is able to be using the responsive commands for responsive design. So the first thing you need to do is you need to, under step 2 meta tags, make sure the document type is HTML5. You'll see that again under the drop down. Make sure it's HTML5. Scroll down to the additional HTML tags for head element, and you'll see according to the guide, when you click over there, and it tells you to enter in this code to make sure that it is able to be responsive. I'll go ahead and copy this section from the guide, and I'll paste it in here. You'll see that's in there now. I'm going to click Save. So it's been saved. That's contained in there now. Go back to the guide. It'll also tell you the next step is to basically add the page builder page you just created. And depending on what you named it, it'll look like this. Reuse styles responsive is going to be basically that's the name of the page builder that you created. So in this case, S51 is Convio code that's used to pull in the reusable element into this section. So I'm going to copy this and also place it in here as well. Save it again. And what that will do is that will pull in the CSS styles that we copied into that readable page into this page wrapper. Back to the guide, you'll see step 3 is to go to step 3 of the wrapper and add the following as well. So go back to here, which is body tag attributes. We'll click next. And under here, on the additional attributes for body tag section, we're going to add this class. This class, basically, explanation is here, will add a parameter that will let you turn on and off this class depending on what you're using it for. So we'll save that as well. And then finally we come to step 4, which is the part where we actually enter the HTML content. Click next. And in this section, you can choose start with a blank page. And then you'll come to the part where this is entering the content. Again, make sure your WYSIWYG is turned off. This is how you turn it on and off. Right now you'll see it's turned on. If you see this, make sure you click Use Plain Text Editor to turn it off. Now you'll go back down to the kit that you've downloaded and open up wrapper_responsive.html in, again, Notepad or whatever your favorite text editor is. You'll see it looks like this, not much HTML at all. And you'll just copy it. Again, Control-C is a keyboard shortcut. I'm sorry, and Control-A is the keyboard shortcut to select everything, and then Control-C copies everything. Go back to the HTML component, and Control-V to paste it in there. And click Next, or click Save. We'll just click Next. And then you'll see it takes you to the next page, which is the printable version. Don't worry about that for now. And then you'll see it comes to this part where you can preview your page wrapper. You'll see, because I already have the reasonable being pulled in as well as a logo, it looks like this in the preview stage. And close that and go ahead and click Publish. Looks like I'm missing something here. Should be okay. Publish. And finish this. Great. So now if I search for responsive, you'll see that this is a test site. There's a lot of actual other responsive wrappers that have been designed, but here's one I've created. Responsive wrapper. And I see the versions here. I can publish it. There's the published. So the next step then after this is to go through and go back to the guide. And we'll see that it's completed. And actually from now on, all you're doing is you're basically applying it to the TeamRaiser and donation forms. That's pretty straightforward as well. So let's go to that step here. Take a little pause right now. So now we come to the section of the screencast where you're going to apply the responsive design page wrapper you created to your TeamRaiser and or donation forms. One thing to note is that this responsive design layout is only available in new TeamRaisers that are created. Unfortunately, you cannot go back and apply this to previous TeamRaisers. So I've already, that being said, I have a TeamRaiser here that I've used for this purpose of demonstration. It's called Sam's TeamRaiser Fun Responsified Part 2. And what I will show you here is how you actually make this TeamRaiser able to use responsive layout. It's very straightforward, very simple. If you look at the guide here, it steps you through again where you choose these different selections. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the step 12, Customize Pages of the TeamRaiser, and choose the layout to be responsive from the drop-down on these following pages for the registration process. So that can be found here. If you go to Customize Pages, we're assuming here you fill out the name already, all this information. You've chosen the options that you want, or you can do that afterwards. It's really up to you. But go to Customize Pages, And you'll see here the different pages that are part of the team manager process. So according to the guide, we see here that we want to do it for team selection, team password, and so forth. So just for demonstration purposes, if we go to team selection, you'll see from the drop-down menu under layout, I already have it chosen for responsive, but by default, it will be one of these other ones. So you're going to want to make sure you choose responsive, and then click save. Go back to your pages, do the same thing for the other ones as well. Participation options is another example, responsive, so forth and so on. You've completed all of them that are displayed here under this. That will allow your team manager to take advantage of the responsive layout. Second thing you want to do is you want to enable donations to processing. This is under step 1, identify team manager, and you'll go down to select event options. You go down to advanced options and related actions, and you'll see if you go down to step 22 here, yes, enable donations to processing for registration transactions. Checked. And that should be good to go. Once that's selected, you're able to go into the next step of the process, which is associate the page wrapper with the team manager event registration. So, under this next page section, go back to customize pages under 12 and choose customize wrapper and styles under related actions. And here you'll see under 2 page wrapper, you can either use the default page wrapper for the site or override it with the responsive wrapper that you've created. In this case, here's my wrapper, Sam's responsive wrapper. The one I created was also responsive wrapper 2, which will also work as well. Whatever it was that you named it, please choose it in this option here. That's for the page wrapper itself for the entire team user. Or you can just apply it only to the registration page wrapper. You'll see this option here under 3. You can choose here the responsive wrapper that you've created. So depending on if you want to use it for the whole team user, which you probably don't at this point, make sure you just choose it. Choose whatever wrapper you want for the rest of the team user, and then under registration page wrapper, choose the one that's responsified. In this case, I had chosen responsive wrapper 2. Finished. And now, if you completed all the rest of the team razor, you click publish, and if I copy this URL here, it'll show you what it looks like. Actually, let me go back and the other ones that I had chosen before. Okay, that's correct. That's why it's not showing up. So if I choose responsive page wrapper 2, publish here, and then if I refresh the page, there we go. So you'll see now that I've applied the responsive wrapper to the entire team razor. That's why now you see this how it looks like this. And again, the way that this is the default greeting page. So of course I have no content here right now, but of course you can put your content here. You can hide these also if you want with CSS styling if you want all the buttons to display on the greeting page. But regardless, this is kind of what it looks like outside the box. Out of the box with the responsive wrapper. And just to show you how it looks, you can click here to form a team. I'll take you to, again, this area. So this, if you want to edit the text here, you have to do that in your HTML in the page wrapper. If you want to change the image, you change it and it would show here as well. Now you'll notice with this image and the text that it changes when you resize the wrapper. I'm going to go slow here so you'll see what happens. If you make it smaller, the text gets smaller and the styles shrink down. And eventually comes to the point where the image will disappear. And what's left is the Main Street Marathon without the image. Now this whole div that contains the image and the text can be removed by going to the HTML and just deleting this div called, I believe it's named with the ID of banner. Just remove that div and this should be gone and it won't be there anymore. But again, it's up to you how you want to use that. If you're shrinking down to the very smallest area, you'll see that it's like this. So of course, this is something like a smaller phone device. It'll display this like this and it'll let you choose the different options to register or form your team. Again, these buttons also, right now, they don't link to anything. We just left them blank, so you can also use these if you want, or just remove them completely as well if you don't want any navigation. It really, is up to you. And if I name my team here, Sam, I am next. See again, it shows you the options of participation type. Again, all these colors can be changed with their styling, however you want. But basically, the buttons can be changed. And basically, this is what it looks like. So of course, you want to brand it however you want with your own logo, your own colors, and so forth and so on. So that's the Team Razor. Very simple. Only a few configuration items that you saw. Basically, you just choose the customized pages, and you make sure you choose the responsive layout under these pages here. And then you choose the wrapper that you want, that you've created, and you're good to go. Very similar with donation forms. So we'll pause here and go to that section of the. So if we go back to the guide, we'll see that there's a section called donation form additional steps. And again, it's pretty straightforward, but we'll step through it just to make sure that you understand what's going on. So again, the first thing according to this document is you go to fundraising and donation management. So we'll do that. We'll go to fundraising, donation management, and here you'll have the option to create a new campaign or use an existing campaign. I'm gonna go ahead and just use an existing campaign. Excuse me, actually, we're gonna go and create a new campaign. I'll call it Sam's campaign, and I'll go ahead and just step through this quickly. I don't need any of these options. This is for demonstration purposes only. And now that I have Sam's campaign, I'll look for it here. There it is. I actually have two of them created. How about that? And I'll click Manage, and I'll click Create a Donation Form. I'll name this Responsive Donation Form. And I'm going to choose the basic donation form for now. It doesn't matter, whatever you want to choose. I'll just choose the basic one. And again, very straightforward. According to the guide, all you have to do is basically choose option 7 and let you have responsive. So basically, we'll go down to number 7 here, form layout, and there's standard or responsive. Choose responsive, click save. Under step 3, design donor screens. So choose your wrapper you're going to use under customized look and feel. I'm going to choose under page wrapper step 2, responsive wrapper that we created. And hit save. Finish. I publish this donation form now. We'll see. We'd like to edit the URL of the first page. We'll see what it looks like here. And there you go. As you can see, it's using the same exact page wrapper as the responsive for the Team Razor, and it has responsified. So if you resize the browser, you'll see that it shrinks down, it responds to the browser size. And there you go. You have a donation form that can be filled out and processed online on a mobile device or on a tablet or whatever else the constituent is using. So that's pretty straightforward, two-step process. If you look at the guide, you'll see that at the very end of this guide, we have a few tips and tricks, additional tips section with the color codes that you can change out. You can basically just copy this, control, copy this, and go back into the style guide here, style_responsive.css, and replace it with define and replace with the colors that you want. Same thing here on top. Also some instructions on if you don't want to use the banner area, you can remove this section from the HTML. It'll be gone. And of course, a little bit about how to replace the images, some guidelines for the image sizes. Other than that, pretty straightforward. Hope you've enjoyed the screencast. Hope you can have success with your guide. Thanks a lot.